Okay, this is the game I done Black Market. It's about buying and selling commodities during the Second World War. Stuff was rationed, so people trying to get stuff on the buy it on the cheap, and the spivs were trying to sell it, trying to make a profit. It's for 1 to 7 players. So the basic board is you've got different price warehouses, 1 shilling all the way up to 9. At the start of the game, everything costs 5 shillings, so there's different commodities in there. We've got chocolate and sugar. So there's one each in there, and there's one on this demand track. As you buy something during the week, when you buy it, you move it from the in least demand up to in the most demand, and you shift it along. Depending on how this finishes at the end of the turn, the commodities get adjusted and you can buy or sell or whatever, then you're trying to make a profit and not make a loss. If during your turn you don't want to buy, you can play a pass card. You might not want to buy at this particular moment, so you pass. When you pass, the policeman, the bobby, he starts making his rounds, checking the warehouses. If he lands at a warehouse that's got some commodities in, everything has to be shifted to the next one down, and it loses money. So you got to be careful when you move the bobby that you don't want to affect your item's value. Got the first person whose turn it is, the spiv, to go. Everybody starts with this is all in old money as they had in the 1940s before decimalisation, pounds and shillings, and we're not doing pence. So everybody starts with £1, 10 shillings, which is like a 50 pence. There's 2 of them in a pound, and 5 shillings. So there's 10 of these shillings in each one of them. So in a pound, there's 20 shillings. So everybody starts with 35 shillings. So this is a 1-player game. So you can play against Dennis. Okay, so what you're going to do first is you're going to deal out the 7 commodities that have come up for sale. So you've got to have your cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You start with 7. Dennis starts with none. He gains stuff to see if he's going to buy stuff or not. So I've got my commodities. What I've got a chocolate there, and cigarettes and nylons. Okay, so I'll put mine there so you can see. So we deal 7 out. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 more. Okay, so now I've got a choice. I could buy any one of them for the going rate, which is 5 shillings. Or I could pass. If I pass, the bobby starts moving around. He never lands at the number 1 shilling warehouse, because nothing could ever go below 1 and nothing could ever go more than 9 shillings. So let's see, we will try and buy. Seems to be a lot of sugar, so we're going to buy a sugar. Okay, so we put that in our hand and it costs us 5 shillings. It goes in the bank. Okay, so now it's Dennis's turn, so he's going to draw the top card off the deck. If there's any cigarettes up for sale, he will buy them. As we can see, there's no cigarettes, so the bobby will move. Okay, so I'm gonna, I forgot to do I bought sugar, so I'll move it from that track, and people are wanting it, so it's in demand now. Right, so I think I'm going to buy the whiskey. I'm going to have whiskey and all. So that cost me 5. So don't forget, that's worth 10 shillings. So if I put that in, I get 5 shillings back. Okay, we just bought whiskey, so whiskey moves from there to the end of the track, because that was the last thing in demand, so people are trying to find whiskey now. Okay, so we pull for Dennis. Dennis is looking for chocolate, so he's got in his hand, and this is how he builds his hand up. Alright, so here's a chocolate, so Dennis is going to buy chocolate, so he's going to chuck his 5 shillings in, and chocolate now has become the most popular item for the week. My turn. I'm going to buy another sugar, which cost me a 5 again. Like I say, everything's 5 at the beginning, so sugar jumps from there to there. Dennis goes. He's after tobacco, cigarettes. There isn't none here, so the bobby moves around. Now if I pass, so if everybody's passed, so Dennis has passed, and if I passed, that's the end of the round, and all these items that are left get confiscated by the police and are out the game. So it's, if I think I could make my money now without spending more money on them, it's a good idea for me to pass. Might stop Dennis getting some. But I'm going to buy some meat as well. So that's worth 20, so we got to get 15 back, which is 10 shillings and another 5. So that was meat, so that jumps to there. See what Dennis does. Dennis is after chocolate, so he moves up to warehouse number 4 shillings, so he's passed. Even though he passed, if it comes around again to his turn, and the turn hasn't ended with everybody putting a pass card out, he can pick that up effectively and then decide to buy something or pass again. So he passed again, so he moves. Right, I think, so at the moment, my chocolate's pretty good, that's in demand. The first 3 will always make money, the middle one will stay the same, and the bottom 3 will lose money. And it goes from -3, -2, -1, 0, +1, +2, +3. So I think we're going to, so chocolate we've only got 2, so we're going to buy another whiskey, which jumps that up to there. Okay, so Dennis takes his card back, he's not using his pass now. He might want to buy the sugar, we don't know. And he's playing, he wants chocolate, there isn't none. So the bobby moves to this warehouse, so everything has to be shifted away quick, so it all loses money because they're trying to get rid of it. So it goes to that warehouse. Okay, and I will buy the last one, sugar, which again is, well, it's only going to cost me 4 now, so that's 10, so we'll get 6 back. Okay, there's no more cards left to buy, so that's the end of the round. So me being the first person, I get a chance. Well, first of all, I've got to adjust the market. So petrol is going to lose 3 shillings. 1, 2, 3, so nobody's interested in petrol. Cigarettes is -2. Nylons is -1. Chocolate stays the same. Sugar goes up 1, but it can't go in that warehouse, so it goes back down. Meat goes up by 2, and whiskey goes up by 3. 1, 2, 3. So now I've got a chance to sell anything, nothing, whatever I want. So I can only get 1 chance to sell this round. So I'm going to sell me 3 whiskey, which will get me 21 shillings, 3 sevens, because it's worth 7 at the moment, 21 shillings. And I'm also going to sell, I'm going to keep hold of my meat, and I'm going to keep hold of most of this at the minute because I think it could, yeah, I'm going to keep hold of most of that. So I get 21 shillings, so don't forget that's a 20 and a 1. Okay, so most of my money is tied up in commodities still. So now Dennis decides if he's going to sell anything, and he's got chocolate, lots of chocolate and cigarettes. He will sell anything that's worth 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. So chocolate is 4, so he's not selling, and the cigarettes he's not selling at the minute. So he's got to keep hold of them. Okay, that's the end of that turn. So he becomes the first person, so he gets to buy first. Right, so we deal out another 7 cards for the week. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it's Dennis's turn. because he's the first person. He's looking to buy petrol, which there's a petrol, so he buys it. Petrol's only going to cost him a shilling, so we're putting 10 in and getting 9 back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and petrol is in popular demand at the minute, so it jumps to the front. At the moment I'm using real shillings dating from 36 to all the way 45. Right, so do I want to buy anything? I think I'm going to buy, what should we buy? I'm going to buy sugar again. I've got a good stock of sugar here. So sugar jumps to the front and I've got to pay 4 for it. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, Dennis's turn. Dennis is looking for meat. And he finds some meat to buy. So he buys it, and the meat will cost him 6 shillings at the minute. So there's 5 and 6 shillings. So he pays for that. So meat again is popular at the moment, so it jumps to the front. Oh, I have got some meat, so keeping it up. But I want to make sure the sugar gets me a good profit this time. Not really bothered about the petrol, so I'm going to have another sugar. And hope I can buy it last to make it increase by 3. So sugar jumps up again, and it cost me 4. So that's a 20. So I'll get 16 back. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 1 back, 16. Okay. If something jumps, say if I buy sugar again and it's already at the front, it just stays where it is. Okay, so Dennis is looking for whiskey, which there isn't none. So the cop is wandering around these warehouses where the meat is. They have to get rid of it quick, so it's going to drop in price at that point. Right, do I want to buy? I'm happy with meat staying there, and I'm happy with sugar staying there. So I think I'm going to buy the meat, try and increase that a bit. So meat will cost me 5 shillings, and I get me meat, and meat jumps to the front. I'm going to see, yep, see what Dennis is doing. And Dennis is after whiskey again. He isn't none, so that's effectively his pass. I forgot to say that before, so he's passing. So he isn't on, so he goes to warehouse 7. So whiskey was in 7. You've got to get rid of stuff quick, so it's down to 6. Okay, the last one, I'm going to buy sugar to bump it up to as most profit as I can. So I'll buy sugar, and sugar's going to cost me 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put that there, and Dennis is gonna, he's still looking for whiskey, which there isn't none. So he passes, and there's nothing in that warehouse. Now I don't want to increase the price of petrol because I know he's got petrol, so I'm going to pass as well. So we've both got a pass card, so the last item gets confiscated and discarded. Okay, so Dennis, or a second play, whichever you're doing, adjust the market. So cigarettes will lose 3. Nobody's after cigarettes. Nylon will lose 2. Chocolate will lose 1. Whiskey stays the same. Petrol increases by 1. Meat increases by 2. 1, 2. And sugar increases by 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's Dennis's turn to sell. So he will sell whiskey because it's 5 or more. He will sell meat because it's worth 5 or more, and the rest, petrol, tobacco and chocolate, he was going to keep. So we got what's it, 18, 19, 20, 22, 34, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 32. So he sells that for 32 shillings, which is £1, because that's 20. 10 bob note, which is 10, and another 2. Okay, so he's up to £2 and 19 shillings. Okay, so I'm definitely going to sell my meat and my sugar. So for sugar I've got 42, 49, 56. So I'll sell that. 56, so there's 20, 40, 50. So I've got two of them make £1, so I'm going to just exchange that. 56, so there's 5 and a 6. So I've got rid of a good bit of stock there. Okay, so that would be the end of that turn. The first player moves to me, and I would deal another 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And play continues like that until you can't put 7 cards down. If you can't put 7 down, gone. And when you can't draw the card in the one player game, when you can't draw the card for Dennis, the game finishes. At that point, you don't adjust the market, you just leave it as it is, and you've got to sell the rest of your commodities for the price they are. And whoever has the most money at the end of the game wins the game. At the moment, I've got £3 and 6 shillings. Dennis has got £2 and 13 shillings. So at that point, I would have more. And that's it. You could have 2 players which you play exactly the same. You just have less cards to start with. And that's it. Thank you.